7-1-21. In the instructions, it says to rewrite the first expression in terms of the second. So they had the tangent after this. They had a semicolon there and then tangent, but I just wrote it up there. So basically, they want you to simplify this and make it be tangent. So I step back and I look at this and I go, well, I got some multiplication going on there. I can't do this subtraction because they're two different things, but I can multiply this out. Now what I'm going to do before I multiply that out is I'm going to take these guys and change them into the reciprocal functions because it'll just make more sense when we go to multiply here. Now when we go to multiply here, because we have a binomial times a binomial, we are going to have to use distributive property. So we're going to do sine of x times 1 over cosine of x. And then cosine of x times cosine of x, or sorry, 1 over cosine of x times cosine of x, which is just 1, but I'm going to write it. And then 1 over sine of x times sine of x, again, equal to 1, but I'm going to write it like that. And then 1 over sine of x times cosine of x. And then, of course, the minus 2 is still there, and the minus cotangent x is still there. So as we look here, this is tangent x. This is 1. This is 1. This is cotangent x. This is minus 2 still there, and minus cotangent x also still there. Well, guess what happens? We have a positive cotangent x and a negative cotangent x. We have a plus 1, which is 2, and a minus 2. And all we're left with is tangent x, which is what they wanted us to be left with. For 7-2, we were given information about the sine of A and the cosine of B. We were told that A and B are between pi over 2 and pi, which means that they're sitting right there in quadrant 2. Did I copy something wrong down here? Because if we're in quadrant 2, then the cosine value should be negative. So let me double check that. Oh, copied half of the wrong problem. Sorry about that. That's supposed to be 0. This is 21. So I wrote this part down right, but the angle should be between 0 and pi over 2, which means that we're in quadrant 1, so everything is positive. And then also we're supposed to be finding the sine of A minus B and the cosine of A plus B. So this is supposed to be the sine of A minus B, and this is supposed to be the sine, or the cosine of A plus B. Okay. So since we're trying to find the sine of A minus B, the angle's changing. We talked about this in class. So we got to run to our formula sheet. And I'm not going to show the formula sheet because I have these memorized. You can go to the formula sheet. The formula is going to tell you to take the sine of the first times the cosine of the second minus the cosine of the first times the sine of the second. It's S and T. I just used A and B, or first and second there. So the sine of A is 4/5. The cosine of B is 1/3. The cosine of A, oh no, I don't know the cosine of A. All right, well, let's draw a triangle and figure it out. So this is going to be A. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So this is going to be 3, 3, 4, 5 triangle. So the cosine of A is going to be 3/5. 3/5 times the sine of B. Oh no, I don't know the sine of B, but I can sketch a triangle. Cosine, here's B, adjacent side over hypotenuse. Find the missing side. This isn't a special triangle. This isn't on the unit circle like the one we had in class. So you're going to have to do A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So B squared is going to be 8. So when you take the square root, you get 2 square roots of 2. So then the sine of B I'm going to need this later, so I might as well write it down, is going to be 2 square roots of 2 over 3. So we come down here, 2 square roots of 2 over 3. So now we can multiply 4/15 minus, we can multiply 6 square roots of 2 over 15. And then, of course, we can't really subtract anything here, but we can write it as 1 fraction. And there are some books that don't write it as 1 fraction, but I think yours does. And then now we need the cosine of a plus b. So the formula for cosine of a plus b is the cosine of a, the cosine of b, minus the sine of a, the sine of b. So the cosine of a is 3/5. Information is above. Cosine of b is 1/3. Again, information is above. Sine of a is 4/5. Sine of b is 2 square roots of 2 over 3. So when we multiply, we have 3/15 and 8 square roots of 2 over 15. And then when we combine, we get 3 minus 8 square roots of 2 all over 15.